What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today we're doing it. You guys been asking for it, and I'm gonna be giving it. Today, we're gonna be looking at how to do maximum DPS, go big dick on heroic Garrosh. Now, this is gonna be a long fight. It's a hard fight, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what you need to do at every step of the way. Now, on this fight, I'm gonna have two clips together. I'll explain that in a few seconds. But on this fight, I was number 8 in the world for Fury Warriors on Garrosh, so I did really well. First thing is you pop all your fucking cooldowns. You go big dick into them right off the fucking start. You don't even wait for the ads. I never even wait for the ads. But one thing you do want to do is save Berserker Rage, because so as soon as the ads come in, you Berserker Rage, because everybody in your entire group is going to be trying to push as much damage as they can, just like you are, and you got to show them that you've got the biggest dick possible, and the first thing to do is get your dick in there first, and that's why you Bladestorm as soon as those fucking ads are there, and you're just going to be look how much damage I'm doing. I don't even know how much. Look at top damage. I'm probably doing over 1,000,000 DPS right now. I can't even read it, but I can see there's 7 numbers. Like that's how it should be every single time you start on Garrosh. Whenever the Iron Star is about to hit, you go into Berserker stance and you get more rage. Look at that. Free rage, and I'm taking damage. So you stand in a fire, DPS higher. That's how it always works, and this is just another example of it. How one of these Farseers come in, excuse me, you Whirlwind, and then you do like 1 or 2 attacks on him. Probably should have actually gotten a Bloodthirst off on him. And again, we're doing this again. I fucked this up a little bit. I fucked this up. See, I'm not in rage right now. Like, this is a fuck up. Okay, so there's always room to improve. I made a lot of mistakes here, and I still parsed number 8. And so, as you can see, I mean, I could have gotten 7 parses higher, maybe even 9, if I had done really well. But I'm just saying, like, there's always a place to improve. Now, as soon as the ads get together, I mean, as I said before, you always want to be DPSing the ads. Always DPS the ads. Always DPS the ads. Now, whenever you're going to go into the first transition, if you've got the Galacrest trinket, you're obviously going to have Bladestorm up for the first time. I try to go in here, and the first thing I do here is I do one Bloodthirst, then I start Bladestorming, make sure I'm enraged. And you also want to have Disrupting Shout, so you can interrupt your group of ads. And that was my interrupt, I think. Yeah, it was. And then I do 1 Whirlwind, and then a Raging Blow for Meat Cleaver, 2 Whirlwinds on them. And then I go in here, and I charge it on him. This is where you want to use your second potion. Now, the reason you want to use your second potion here is because, as you can see, both my fucking trinkets are up. I've got my potion up, and you're getting max rage. Like, so, as I said, you want to maximize big dick time, and this is ultimate big dick time. Like, right here, this is big dick. You're going big dick right now, right now, right now, right now. Look how much damage I'm doing. Like, I can just tell that I'm ahead of everybody by like a mile, right? And so that's how it should be, because you're a warrior, best class in the game. And that's exactly how it should be. So you want to pop all your cooldowns again, use your second potion right here, right now. Fuck that shit, use it in the third phase. Like, if you can't push it without your potions, then you're probably doing something wrong. As soon as you come out of here, there are 2 ways that you can approach mind controls. Now, I'm lazy, and so I don't really deal with them a whole lot. What I do is I do a Whirlwind, maybe, and then I also do a Heroic Leap. Now, this can also lead to loss of damage, because obviously I wouldn't be in melee range, and so I missed a couple of white swings, but hopefully it'll be as minimal as possible. And I did pretty well on that one. I could have done a lot better, though. And so again, it's always about looking at what you're doing wrong and then figuring out what it is. Now, I'll talk about that in a second. As soon as he does Whirling Corruption, you go in Berserker stance again, because you're taking a lot of damage. Now, again, you always want to be in Berserker stance whenever you're taking damage. You don't even try and stand in Desecrates or anything like that. That's silly, and any strat that's doing that is fucking retarded. So I'm not even going to be talking about that at all. But whenever he does Whirling Corruption, always go into Berserker stance. And hopefully that's whenever you'll have your Colossus smash up, and then you can just be spamming things and just be rage capped going into it. And that's another thing, is before you go into the Whirling Corruption, because you're going to rage cap on Whirling Corruption, is you burn all your rage right before it happens. So then your rage cap has to go higher in order for you to actually hit it, and so you're going to get off more heroic strikes in the time given. And so again, like right here, about right now, all my trinkets proc again. As you can see, both trinkets proc again, and so it kind of sucked that my Colossus Smash didn't line up perfectly with that, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Now, for a lot of groups, they have this second transition where they go into the Terrace area. We didn't have that, but I know you guys are going to have that, so I took a clip of whenever we did have it, and I'm going to explain how I did that in that clip right there. And so there's not going to be like, oh, well, I'm doing it this one way, and then nobody else can relate to it. Nobody knows how to fucking do the fight, because I'm doing it the completely different way, right? So you don't want to have that. Again, there are the mind controls. I whirlwind them, and that's pretty much it. You don't really worry about doing too much else. Some people, what they do is they stack up three stacks of meat cleaver, and then they do a raging blow and hit all of them with a raging blow. I don't really think it's worth it, but the guy that suggested that, I think he's number 7, so he's ahead of me. So maybe you might want to listen to him instead of me. I don't really know. And so as you can see here, another Whirling Corruption, going into Berserker stance, doing as much damage as possible, hitting all the keys. Like I just take all 4 fingers and I just go like this. I just keep hitting them right at that. That's exactly how you want to be doing it, especially whenever the Whirling Corruption's out. Now here we are. Here's Terrace phase. You want to run up here. Don't even be trying to do any fucking damage to these ads because you're gonna look like a goddamn idiot if you die. Now I did the I got up here first so I could get the damage on them. You pop all your cooldowns. Go ahead and you save your Berserker Rage for this. Pop every single fucking cooldown and die by the sword. I didn't pop it. I fucked up. Look how much damage I'm doing. Like I can't even count that high. That's how much damage I'm doing. And then you run away. And what I try and do here is I put down a demo banner. I fucked that up, and I didn't want to have to try and click it again because then I'd lose damage. Another thing is that those little yellow orbs that are on the ground, don't ever touch those. Okay, those will lower your damage. Never do that. Never touch those yellow orbs. These are very bad for you. And again, during transition phases, you want to always be in Berserker stance. If you're not above 80% health, you want to use pop by either die by the sword or pop shield wall to make sure that you don't die. Because whenever you're dead, you don't do any damage. And so you want to come as close to dying as possible, but not dying. Because if you're dying, you're a fucking idiot. And so you don't want to ever die. Anyway, so we're going to go back over to the other clip where we push him before this phase, and then I'll show you guys the way I handle phase 3. I was not expecting this to happen, so I didn't really have my cooldowns ready and planned out. But a good thing is, obviously, I did have Recklessness up and all that, and so it wasn't too big of a deal. I was just waiting for my Colossus Smash to come up, and then I'm going to use Recklessness again. Now, even if you don't get Recklessness to start here, you want to use it anyway, and the reason for that is that you're going to have it up for phase 4, and I'll explain that whenever we get there. And so as you can see here, I'm popping all my cooldowns, going big dick on them, and as soon as this happens with the mind controls, you want to, again, Blade Storm, and you can cast Disrupting Shout while you're Blade Storming, and so that's a really good opportunity to kind of, just be MVP right there. You're doing most damage to the ads, and you're interrupting all of them at the same time. Like, you're obviously the most important player in the entire group at that point. And so for Whirling Corruption here, you're going to be taking a lot of damage, and so you might even want to Shield Wall, and even though you're Shield Walled, you want to go into Berserker Stance again, because this is going to be your highest damage phase. Pop probably, I didn't pop anything, that's because I was trying to go big dick DPS. But again, like if you are taking a lot of damage, you definitely want to pop Shield Wall. And sometimes if your group doesn't have a lot of throughputs or cooldowns, you could have a problem here. Now, do not AoE the small ads, because if you AoE the small ads, then everybody's going to die, and you're not going to be able to log because the logs don't count whenever you wipe, and so you don't want that to happen. But you are going to AoE the ads. One thing that you want to do is right before phase 4 happens, like about 5 seconds before the countdown timer goes, you heroic leap over to the ads and you Blade Storm them, okay? Now this is going to piss off everybody in your group, and your raid leader is going to get really mad at you. Just tell them that it was a mistake, or make something up, because it's going to give you like probably at least 10,000 more DPS, and I missed out on it because the ads were all the way over there. They were taking them away from me. They didn't want me next to the ads because they know the kind of guy that I am, and they didn't want me to wipe the raid because we have buyers in the raid, and I'd be wasting everybody's time. But it would be nice to have a higher rank than number 8. But either way, so you go into phase 4, and whenever Garrosh starts waving his arms around in phase 3, that means you don't have to DPS him anymore. And that's a good point where you can start beating everybody else on DPS who stop DPSing. You never stop DPSing. You go big dick on them the entire time, okay? Until you go into phase 4 or you jump over to the ads. Now for this, what I do is I charge over to him or I heroic leap over to him. It's better to charge and then heroic leap to stay within melee range. I didn't really think that I was going to do that, and I decided not to. Now for Malice, you don't want to do anything weird for Malice in terms of going into Berserker stance or anything like that. Don't worry about that at all. Just do it correctly. And one thing that you could also do is just not do Malice at all, and so you don't have to focus on it, and so you can just focus on doing big damage. But again, that's kind of like scumbag, and you don't want to wipe the raid, because whenever you wipe the raid, again, you don't rank because everybody's dead, and it doesn't count wipes. And so anyway, again, I'm doing the same thing. You're probably going to have your cooldowns up here. Now, I had my cooldowns up, but the way that I figured it is that I'd only have time for one more Recklessness, so I might as well wait until I'm going to be able to not have to wait for Bombardment. Now, for Bombardment, you want to stay on the boss no matter what. Now, obviously, there's going to be Napalm coming down. Those are those swirlies. Now, guess what you do? You don't fucking stand in them. No shit. is really easy. And sometimes, like one time, I actually got killed by those. And you want to use maybe your rocket boots if you need to stay up to keep up with them. Now here, I call out the energy here, so I kind of lost a little bit of damage, and I might have done some stupid shit, but that's because I had to also call out his energy and plan for a couple other things to help raid lead because I'm an officer in this guild. But anyway, as you guys can see here, you might want to go Berserker stance for this too, and I would have done that, but again, I was dealing with too many things and I didn't even think of it. Now at this point, you're about to have another bombardment, so that means you've got to kind of plan out where you're going to move and how you're going to move. But the only important thing is to make sure that you never get off the boss. And here I fuck up a little bit, and I get hit by Malice twice, and that almost kills me. And so you want to be very careful about that, because the way we do the strat is we take the Malice to the outside of the room, and so I kind of ran through it twice, and so that was a problem. And so right here, as soon as we get them resituated, as soon as my Colossus Smash was up, I had planned on basically doing my last, last Recklessness, and I got Skullbanner up, and so right now I'm just finishing them off. I'm like going hard right to the end. Right to the end I'm going hard. And it ends like just right perfectly, right when my Recklessness ends, boss is dead, and that's all it takes. So guys, this is a very complicated fight, but whenever you've done it 500 times like me, because we wiped 1,000,000 times on this thing, you're going to know exactly how to do it, when to do it, but that's when you use your cooldowns, that's how to use it. And if you do this, you're going to be doing real high DPS, at least 500k, if you've got really good gear. So that's all it is, and thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.